Well, I'm a person, but 3, 2, 1.
We can't see how many people are on there right now.
We're live.
I mean, you can start. I don't know why we're doing this awkward silence thing.
We should do this awkward silence every single time.
Have people watching.
Good afternoon, Stingers. We're just getting set up here. We're gonna give a couple more minutes. Let some people log on.
It's not popping up though. There we go.
Yeah.
We're waiting for Coach Kelly again, like last week and the week before.
Slacker.
So consistent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, consistently slacking. Exactly.
Constantly.
Oh, nope. That was the natural video.
Oh, how fun. Have you seen those? No. No?
We have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I did.
We're still waiting, guys. Give us a couple minutes here.
What? I did. There's a lot of editing that I had. It's a lot of editing I had to do.
A headache.
It's like,
So what'd you use to do all that?
what do you mean? My brain.
My brain, hello. What are you pulling up?
The YouTube.
What program?
Oh, okay.
I just said YouTube.
Hey, simmer. Coach Kelly almost has it, guys. Bear with us.
Not really.
Who we got on here?
People on Instagram so far. Everybody over there. Go on, show. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Solid.
Okay, we're gonna go and get started. Good afternoon. We're happy to have you guys on. Happy to see you guys. Last week, or this week, I should say, we talked about consistency. Don't forget to send us those videos. Send us anything that you can send us about consistency. We want to know. That's not somewhere.
Who says that?
That's my phone.
Oh, hot dogs. Very popular.
But we definitely want to know even what consistency means to you. So you guys can even put on this live feed what consistency means to you. I know we gave you the definition this week, but we want to know what it means to you guys, and we want to see any videos. Maybe your parents can send a video in if they see you showing something that you consistently do and that they're happy about. We'd love to see those. We're gonna get started this morning. I think we're gonna go straight to our guest.
Yes, absolutely.
So we have a special guest, Miss Stewart.
Oh, wow. He's upside down.
We have a special guest today for you guys. Miss Stewart is here, and she brought her own special guest. So we'll let you talk. We'll let you talk about that, Miss Stewart.
What do you want to know? Well, we have a few questions for you.
Yeah, well, sure. Let's start off.
We can just start shooting.
Yeah,
them
let's go shoot the arrows.
The first question we have for you is, how long have you taught and coached?
Oh, okay. Well, I've been teaching my entire life and coaching my entire life. I just say that because I enjoy just showing people, anybody who will listen to me talk long enough, about a particular subject, just imparting information is what I call teaching or guiding the learning process, if you guys want to be real formal about it. But in the schools since 1991, and then I homeschooled my son as my fellow students know. But that's where I really fell in love with teaching, was when I homeschooled my son and realized, holy cow, there's more than one way to approach a particular subject. And we were very hands-on, and I just love the teaching. I think it's wonderful. I do a lot of outdoor ed. I have my little gecko with me today, and that's a part of my outdoor ed stuff. But anybody who's willing to listen, hey guys, I also like to say, be my teacher. You guys have some wonderful information out there that y'all share with me. So really, you guys are teaching as well. And that's why I say I've been doing it my entire life. The coaching part of it, Formally, I've been coaching since the dinosaurs were around. Hey, we got a special guest.
Come on in, Mr. Olivas. Mr. Olivas, come on, say hello.
Miss Olivas is like a-
No makeup, no nothing.
Oh, you are gorgeous,
Oh,
woman.
you're pretty. These are packets for next week.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put it up there and I'm gonna go through it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Miss Olivas says hi, everybody.
Yeah, so anyway, with the coaching, my first sport that I coached was gymnastics, and I was in the 7th grade. And so that was back in like 1981. So that'll give you an idea. Just do the math. No, don't do the math. You know, as to how long I've been around. But yeah, since 1981 on the coaching. But if you really want to look at teaching within the schools or even informal education, probably just as long. So
Nice. That was awesome.
Does the lizard have a name?
it is a leopard gecko. That's the name.
Leopard gecko?
Yeah,
Okay.
these guys are from Asia and Afghanistan. They grow to about 10 inches in length. They're nocturnal, which means that they only come out really at night. So he's probably freaking out, wondering, what are you doing with me? He's the only gecko out of all the species that really can't climb walls the way that other geckos can, where they have what I call the toilet plunger feet, that enable them to suction cup. Yeah. And so I have to be really careful with him whenever I'm showing him, because a lot of kids want to hold, and he really doesn't have a way to grasp a hold of your hand the way that most other geckos can.
Wow.
But he'll eat just about anything I put into his habitat, including small kids. So watch out for those of you that don't do their homework. Nah, he's more into crickets and super worms, and that's it. Those are his two favorites. But he's a wonderful little guy. Some of you got to see him in February when we did the big reptile program here. So anyway.
That's awesome.
So, like, why champion? What drew you here?
Oh man, I'm glad that you asked that question on why champion. When I first started coming here, it was actually before the school was ever even built. And when I found out that Champion School was coming in, I had actually been doing some water conservation ed over at the Champion School at South Mountain. And I just fell in love with the staff and the administrative support that I'd seen going on within the school. I seen what kind of impact the staff and the administration was having on kids and their families. And I've really never seen anything like that in other schools that I've worked at. So when I had the opportunity to substitute teach here, which I want to thank Miss Archie for, because she and I just hit it off really well. And then Miss Leah came in, or Miss Lewis, excuse me. And but just the way that the staff support one another and the parental involvement that I see and the kids, yeah, it was a perfect storm. I love it. And so when I had the opportunity to choose between American Leadership Academy and Champion, it was Champion hands down. So
That's awesome. Give me chills a little bit.
you should have seen what I wrote.
Got a whole novel on.
So, so how have sports affected you, and what role have they played in your life?
Wow, sports. I'm a tomboy. I love athletics. Like, I love animals and the great outdoors. Sports for me has given me a new way to focus, to take out frustration, to learn how to be a teammate. I think I excited the phones. They're buzzing. Yay! I got fans.
Yeah, go call it.
Yeah. But let me put him back real quick. But yeah, so anyway, sports has given me a new way to focus and to take out frustration, all that, but also to show myself that I can always be better than what I think that I can physically and mentally handle. And whenever I got into gymnastics, my big thing was that I wanted to be in the Olympics. And that was what I wanted. And I had an excellent gymnastics coach at the Y. But then I went through a growth spurt. And if we know anything about gymnastics, we know that height isn't the greatest thing. And that's when I picked up on volleyball and the basketball and the track and fast pitch baseball. So anyway, sports has always been a part of my life, whether I've participated in it or as a coach. And it's the opportunity in which, for me as a student athlete at the time, to be able to connect with my coach who really, really cared. And as I shared with your coaching staff last week, as a matter of fact, when you have a coach, you guys, who is willing to stay after practice to work on that one skill that is your weakness, that really says a lot about their character, about their integrity, about everything that they want for you. It's a selfless act. And take advantage of it, you guys. Take advantage of it. My volleyball coach did when I was in high school. And I went from being just a mediocre player all the way up to being ranked in the top 100 in the nation, as well as the top in the state of New Mexico. And when you have a coach that believes in you and believes in your ability, you got to ride it. You got to ride it. And anyway, I could share with you all day long what it means to me.
Well, I mean, at the same time, when
Yeah.
you said a coach that'll stay with you, it says a lot about the player that wants to stay after to work on those skills too. So
Yeah.
as much as you learn about us through doing stuff like that, we learn a lot more about you when you guys choose to make those decisions.
At the end of the day, you're gonna get out of it what you put into it.
And as I shared with your coaches last week, and as I share with my student athletes, is that as a student athlete, not only are you responsible for your academics, you guys, but also too, your academics come first. And I know I shared with my students that many NBA players and NFL players, they will tell you, go to school, stay in school, do your absolute best. You don't have to be a straight A student. Just give us your best, because that shows integrity. That shows dedication and commitment. And when coaches see that, they're going to take that over a straight A student who puts forth no effort whatsoever. But as I share with my student athletes as well, when it comes to your practice, do the things that other teams, other athletes are not willing to do, or that they won't do. If that means pushing that extra mile, if that means doing another 100 free throws before you leave the gym, before you go home, you know what? The extra effort that you put in has big payoffs, guys. It really, really does.
Ooh, I want to just keep hearing you talk a little bit. You need to keep her around, guys.
Well, and I think it ties into what you guys were talking about in consistency. Consistency is the key to success. As long as you practice, not practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. And when you work on those skills and you refine those skills consistently, and you consistently show up, then you know what? Oh my gosh, you guys are going to see such a big improvement in leaps and bounds, not just athletically, but academically.
Yes.
It goes hand in hand.
Yes.
Question. So what is your favorite sport memory while playing?
Oh no. I have so many, but there's one in particular. I'm like the biggest nerd, there was a movie a long, long time ago, and I don't even remember what the name of it was, but there was a scene that there was these two guys, and they were messing around, and one fell on the ground, the other one fell on top and rolled off of them, and he yelled, "Steamroller!" really loud, and it was a comedy. And in volleyball, boy, we worked our rear ends off, and we went to state. And here we are, we're competing against the best of the best in Albuquerque. And my friends and I on the team, we worked on this magnificent play that we adopted by from the Olympic teams. And it was so badly played that when we fell in front of the net and we rolled out onto the opposing team side, I just steamrolled right over the top of my teammates, and I yelled, "Steamroller!" and I just raised my hands, and it just stopped everything. And even the referees are like, "Oh, who is this person? Get her out of here!" Yeah, but I can't walk and play and chew gum at the same time. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to athletics, the teamwork, the sportsmanship, and the sense of humor. If you guys ever want to see a show, come on out and watch us play.
Oh, I love it.
So what do you still do currently to kind of stay active?
I mountain bike and I road bike and I kayak and I hike. So every day I road bike, I put in 50 miles every day. When I'm on, 50.
Wow.
And when I mountain bike, I'm doing 20 to 30 miles. And then I coach I coach athletics, but I coach mountain biking in particular. So for kids, my kids, I say all of y'all in 4A and 4B who are there, you guys are my family. You know it. I love you guys to pieces. But I coach the kids all the way up from kindergarten all the way up to adult. And it's wonderful to get out there. It keeps your mind healthy. You're physically healthy, and biologically, if we get into all of the different things that goes on, it boosts your immune system. And what an important time right now is to have our immune systems boosted by just physical activity.
Absolutely.
Good.
So, do you have any goals during this quarantine?
Yes, eat. I love to eat.
Yes.
I know the more I ride, the more I get to eat. My kids know I love to eat. They're like, Mrs. Stewart, why are you talking about food? Well, because I love to eat. And I want to make you hungry. And you got like 2 hours to go to lunch.
Yeah, the more calories you burn, the more
Yeah. No, during this time, it's staying connected. It's my faith, it's my family, it's my job. In that particular order, when you put your faith first, regardless of what your religion is, or if you don't go to church, whatever it is, it could be your family, it could be your friends. And then your job is to make sure that your schoolwork and your home lessons are being done. And of course, help mom and dad out, man. I tell you what, they're having such a hard time. I know that there are moms and dads who might be listening. I know that you're probably pulling your hair out every day and all that. And let me just share with you, I'm a single parent. I raised my 2 kids on my own for 20 some odd years. Yes, it is tough, but it's worth it. But you know what? Pick your battles. Pick your battles. If you go to church, attend your service online, hang out with your family. We had cheesy movie night. We would just watch these cheesy movies, have pizza. We would play Yahtzee. And, get connected with your children in ways that you have not been able to connect with them during the regular school year, and love each other. My goal, both of my kids are adults now. So my goal is to take care of myself, because that's all I have. And when you fail to take care of yourself, where you're not getting the rest, you're not getting the proper nutrition, then that old saying, if mom ain't happy, nobody's happy. So moms in particular, please, I know it's a trying time for us with our hair and our nails. For me, I just throw a hat on. But do take care of yourselves. And dads, love your kids like no other, because that's all we have. Really, in the grand scheme of things, as I've shared with my family, as long as I have my health and my family, that's all that matters. The world could come to an end. I could be homeless, but I have my family, and that's really all I need. So the goal, my faith, my family, and then being here with you guys.
Great response. And the next question I was going to ask if you had a quote that's your favorite, but you said if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
I have so many different quotes for different things. My kids in my class know that I tell them a lot, just give me your best. I don't expect perfection, just give me your absolute best.
Right.
Nobody can ever question you on your motivation as long as you give us your best. And the other thing is slow down. Take time to do things right the first time. That way you don't have to find time to do it right the second time.
Right.
And then this one in particular kind of ties in with Champion School. I love Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy was the coach for the Indianapolis Colts as well as the Buccaneers, and he has a wonderful book that's out, and it was put out many years ago.
I just ordered it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. And I tell you what, not only as a coach did I connect on many levels with him, but he's a family man, true, and he speaks about fatherhood. He speaks about not only being a father to his own children, but also to that of his NFL players and all the duties and stuff. And it's so wonderful because in the face of adversity, you guys, if you stay focused on your goals, you stay focused on who you are and what you want to better, there's no doubt in anybody's mind that you're going to achieve exactly what you set out to do. But be prepared, because the naysayers, people, even your best friends are going to come at you and go, oh, you're so stupid. Why do you want to waste your time on that? Oh, you'll never amount to anything. You're no bigger than a popcorn fart. You know what? Don't believe the naysayers, because you know what? When it starts getting loud like that, you're onto something straight and true. But Tony Dungy had mentioned, and I'm just going to have to paraphrase this, but with the way Champion School and how I've seen it, and Tony Dungy's quote is that basically he says that with courage, with integrity, with character, with you being true to yourself, and you being a mentor, you being a leader, You being the person of authority that not just yells, not a person who yells from the highest, hey, I see what you're doing down there, you know, get it right. No, what he's saying is that lead by example. Lead by example. Take people with you when you lead. Don't just sit there and bark up orders and stuff. Go out there. And as I shared with y'all's coaching staff last week, is that I'm the kind of person that loves to play. And I will go out and play basketball with you. I will go out and play volleyball with you and coach you. That to me is what a coach and what a leader does, is that they demonstrate that they have not forgotten where you guys are at this particular moment in your life or on the court. And for me, it is really important that I be able to connect with you, yes, all of y'all, in that manner. So anyway, if you guys have time to read, Tony Dungy, man, he's awesome.
That's hilarious. So you just bought that book, was it yesterday or this week?
So I think I ordered it Sunday. It's called Uncommon.
Yes, love that.
That's the title of the book. Yeah, that was because we talked about last week. One of my goals was to actually start reading more. So for this quarantine, so that was a good start.
Power of influence, guys.
Speaking into existence. Next thing we're gonna ask you to show us your animals.
And
We
I
kind of started, we started that.
Yeah, he's kind of tucked away. I don't mean to cut in, but go ahead.
No, you're okay. That was our next thing. That's great. We already covered that.
So one of the reasons why, and I know that many of you know that, hey, she's got a Gila monster. She's got, you know, this rattlesnake in her house and all this stuff, bald eagles. Yeah, you know, I can get it all. You just tell me you want a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I got that too.
You're gonna bring it.
I did. I got it. It's right here, right there.
I'd like a T-Rex.
Yeah, I love T-Rex.
One of the mini ones. Bring me mini
Oh,
ones.
you guys are going to make me nerd out.
I want the one from Meet the Robinson.
Yeah.
But earlier, well, what month are we in? We're in April. So in February, March, when we did the reptile program there in the gym, I had the gecko, yes. But as you all remember, we had different kinds of species of rattlesnakes, and we had 2 Gila monsters, and I brought the gecko, and I think that was pretty much what we had. I think there was even a tarantula somewhere. I don't know. Somebody might be wearing it in their shirt somewhere. But anyway, the gecko is kind of symbolic of what happened during the reptile program, and that was that there was a young lady who was, I think she was in 6th grade. And when her class came up to come into the gym, I was holding a king snake, and I went up to meet the class at the doors, and this young lady, she just started to panic, and she just took off running across the soccer field just crying. And some of her friends were giving her a hard time, and I just told them, hey, you know what, let's not pick on her or anything. That's how she needs to handle it, and just let her be. She'll come around in her own time. And to make a long story short, she did come around in her own time. While she didn't come into the gym right away, by the end of the program, guess who was in the gym? She was. And her friends were trying to coax her to come and see the rattlesnakes. And she was just kind of looking from afar, looking over the shoulder. And I was so proud of her. And I walked over to her and I let her know that from my heart, that I was really proud. And I think I even shed some tears. But I was proud of her, going from not wanting to come inside to now here she is in the gym. And, when educators, when adults have that, or even you guys as peers, when you guys talk to each other in ways that I tell my 4th graders, you got to build each other up. You got to speak life, man. You got to edify one another. When you encourage one another, man, I tell you what, you become unstoppable. Your fear of certain things just melts away. And so later in that day, this same young lady, she comes over to my room and she tells me, she says, hey, you know what? She goes, I'm not afraid anymore. Do you still have the gecko? And I said, no, I don't. And she says, well, do you think that you might be able to bring it? Because I think that I'm ready to hold it. I was like, wow, to go from this woman, I acknowledge, man, to go from you crying and not wanting to come into the gym to now you're in the gym to this, what a great accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And I just loved on her in words and deeds. And I told her, I said, I tell you what, tomorrow I'll have the gecko, but you need to come and find me. Right. I'm not going to search you out. You come and find me. And I tell you what, that young lady impressed me like no other. She came in and the joy that she had on her face when she held that gecko And she held it. I let go. She held it. And the joy that she had on her face of overcoming that fear spoke, he's like, man, he's wanting to come. But it spoke volumes to me. And so there's always these little things that symbolically happen throughout the day that remind me of why I'm here. And it's those humbling moments that remind me that even in the toughest of days, even when I'm like some of the kids were, I don't want to come to work. Oh my God, I'm tired, but in truth, if you just show up and you take those baby steps, and as I tell my kids, inch by inch is ascension, yard by yard is hard, just approach just a little bit at a time, chip away at it. And you know what? Fear, FEAR, is really an acronym for false evidence appearing real. And so we let fear stop us from accomplishing great things. And I know that there are several stories, even in our own lives, where we've had certain things that stopped us dead in our tracks that said, you can't do that.
Right.
And you just have to look at it right in the face, because that's the world lying to you. Nobody wants to see you get better. You have to want it. You have to take the next step. And then when you realize that fear is just here, you go, well, what was stopping me in the first place?
Right.
So you guys don't let any challenge, whether it's academic or athletic, get in the way of you accomplishing what you know you're capable of doing. Because I guarantee you, the staff that's here, myself, the admin, and all the teachers that are here are going to love you. They're going to love you all the way to success. But it starts with you guys.
Start with you guys. Love that. All right. What else do we have for you? Let me
I
see.
guess our last one would be kind of, since we only have about a month left of school,
Right.
kind of, what are you looking forward to next year?
Oh gosh, I'm looking forward to coming back to
seeing the kids.
Yeah, to see my kids. I want to see growth.
Right.
I'm a newbie here, and as I shared with y'all, I didn't want to come in here and go, hey, look what I can do. I'm very humble and thankful. Miss Lewis and Miss Archie know that I'm very humble and grateful that I am able to be here. Any way that I can support the staff, support the kids, support their families, they know, or at least I hope they do, that I would go out of my way within reason in which to support that. So for this next year, it's how can I give more now that the cat's out of the bag?
Yeah.
Or the gecko's out of the box? What more can I do to enrich? And this isn't selfish. I always step aside for everybody else and put the spotlight on them. But what else can I do to help enrich the environment and be that team player that we all need to be that united front that makes Champion be what we want it to be? And that's that vision,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I love you guys.
We all do. We all do. That's pretty much all we have for you for today. We had like a list of questions we want to touch. Pretty much hit all our bullet points. You were amazing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. This is our first guest appearance. I hope we have more.
Number one.
It'll be set to the top. I don't know. It'll be set to the top.
That's okay. Somebody go out there and meet me. I welcome it.
We were planning on doing a little game here, but I don't know if we have time to do so. I think we might have to cut that short.
Put that for next, yeah.
Yeah, we have a little game we're gonna end up doing either next week, or we might post it maybe Friday.
What is that? What?
It's a who is most likely to. So, for example, if I was to say, we were gonna.
You want to run it for 5 minutes?
We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
That's easy. Can you, Mr.
Yeah,
you
do
would
that.
be the guest and go ahead and ask us, and we're gonna point at which three of us.
Are we closing our eyes or no?
What do you guys think? You want to close your eyes or no?
Make sure you guys comment on who you think it is too.
All right.
I like number 2. All right.
So are
Hey! Everyone say hi to Mr. Bowen.
There's
You want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
We're live, Mr. Bowen.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Come on, babe. Come in over.
She's like, I'm out of here, man.
like, I thought we were leaving.
Everyone say hi.
Here's
to
a little babe.
No, you're okay.
We love it that you
You
dropped
guys
in.
are all looking so good.
We'll get you next time.
Yeah, you're on our radar,
Oh,
buddy.
you bet. Awesome. Love it.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye. So are we closing our eyes for this, or are we just?
Well, let's give them like an example of what you guys are gonna
Yeah, we can do
So
it.
are we closing and pointing, or are we just saying it?
We can just say it.
You just said it?
Or what do you want to do?
What is point?
Okay, so close your eyes or?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
so we'll leave our eyes open.
I want to know exactly what you mean.
Oh, great, here we go.
So basically what we're gonna do is Ms. Stewart's gonna ask a question, and then we're gonna point at who out of us three coaches we think is more likely to exhibit that.
So apparently, if I want to keep my job, I need to point at Coach Britt for every single one of these.
Same.
That's
I'm pointing
kind
at
of
him.
the way I got it.
All right, well, we need to start with number 2 as being number 1 because this is where I stepped foot in. So the question is, here you have these 3 glorious individuals. I'm excluded, by the way, okay? Is who is most likely to fart in public? Truth is out there.
I see how this is gonna go.
That explains why she's so much
I
fun.
see how this is gonna go right now.
That's why he's got the big office.
All right, here we go.
Oh, no. Okay, who is more likely to be a germaphobe? Germaphobe is a person afraid of
I don't
germs.
know.
Oh,
Really? Well, we all think we're
I feel like, do we need like a countdown where you have to make decisions so it's all at the same time?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay, here we go. I like this one. Who is most likely to run away and join the circus?
Wow.
I'm gonna do a countdown.
Well,
We don't
I
count on that. No countdown on that. We don't need one.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
no.
What would my act be?
Who knows?
You come up with something.
Come on, something good.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Who is most likely to be in the choir?
1, 2, 3.
Really? Me?
I can be me.
That ain't gonna be me.
I think it's you. What in the world? Oh, wait.
Because I'm always sick.
Yes, you are always singing. Okay, there we go. Make sure we're still all right.
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, because, never mind. A little personal, but who is most likely to go days without showering?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You didn't wait till you finish counting. You're just like 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Oh man,
No.
that's awesome.
Okay, since we had animals, who is most likely to be attacked by a wild animal?
1,
Oh. Sorry, I forgot about the cat.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, you think I was Johnson?
Oh, I think Johnson
Nice.
though.
Oh, no.
Attack?
I don't know about attack.
Maybe attack and set me. Attack and succeed you.
Okay, so you want to do the last one?
Um,
How many more did you want to do?
No, let's keep going.
Oh, okay, because I'm just kind of following the storyline. So, okay, so we all figured out who's going to be attacked by a wild animal. But of the 3, when approached by a wild animal and they get scared, who's more likely to pee on themselves?
1, 2, 3.
Let me explain why though, guys, because Coach Johnson specifically is always scare me. He'll hide in little crevices, and I'm not gonna lie, like I may have had an accident or 2 along the way.
Oh, no.
He's got secret doors all over the gym. Just never know when he's gonna pop out.
It's crazy.
Oh, geez, you guys are nuts. So, all right, who's more likely to appear on a reality TV show?
1, 2, 3. We know what he really wants to do now.
Right?
Big Brother. And
Big Brother.
this season on Big Brother.
Oh, no. All right, who's the coolest?
1, 2, 3.
Who's the coolest?
1, 2, 3.
Come on, guys. We all know. Who is the coolest, guys? Come on. Is anybody gonna write anything? Here.
Come on, you guys.
Yeah, I know
Come
about
on.
it.
How
Come
many
on.
people are watching?
Only
30?
2.
Only 2.
On Instagram. Our Oh, your line was 3.
Somebody just logged on. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, look, we have more on YouTube, guys.
Thanks for
Oh,
joining
no. He said only 2.
Appreciate whoever just joined us.
Oh, no, we're trying, guys. We gotta get our numbers up. We gotta get our numbers up. Oh, no. No, we do post later.
Oh, no.
But as of right now, we.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great.
All right, let's go.
Who's the clumsiest?
One.
Wait a minute, where are you going?
One.
No, it's you. Where are we going? Where are we leaving?
1, 2, 3.
For sure. I don't even need it.
Oh, man, my-
I got a headache now.
I know, I think I
Oh, no. Who is most likely to be in a commercial?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes. Okay, we agree on that.
It's called the Rogaine.
Oh, my God. Rogaine.
Oh, he got young guy jokes. Okay.
I gotta make them out again.
Okay.
Keep living. Keep on living.
Wow. So who's most likely to start a fight with a monkey?
That is easy.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that's easy.
Definitely gonna go sprint.
Well, why would I say fight with a monkey?
You just had that way about you where you're like, I just want to punch a monkey right now.
Okay. Score at monkey.
Oh, jeez. Who is most likely to pose? Oh, cricket.
Oh.
Who is most? It's
wow.
a juicy one. Who is most likely to post a selfie even during an earthquake?
1, 2, 3.
There's no thought about that. That's not even your post. It's
No, no.
Oh, no. Duck face. Oh, no. Duck face. Who is most likely to make a new discovery?
1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm going with Kevin.
Kind of went with me, so.
Okay, well.
And I went with Dave.
he's also flexing while he points at himself. So just make that note.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Now you guys need to think about this one. How many people?
3.
3. Who's more likely to become a magician?
1, 2, 3.
You already know.
I knew that was coming.
For sure.
Can I get that? Can I put that in the?
Yeah. You want to? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we show? Or we don't want to stare? I guess so.
We don't want to scare our 3D.
I know. You get all grossed out.
Henry, they're out.
No, yeah, he's hiding there.
Get out of
I
here.
don't know. We'll see if he can find you.
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. So we'll just leave him in there. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I went over and I bought 50 crickets, and I went to go dump them down into the habitat for them, and I wasn't paying attention to where I had the bag, the hole of the bag over the top of the habitat, and totally missed the aquarium, and my
Oh,
daughter was so
no.
mad, and we had 50 crickets jumping all throughout the house,
Oh my
and
god.
she screamed the entire time, because she hates crickets.
How long did it take you to get them all?
A couple of days.
Really?
Yes.
They're hiding out.
They were.
That cricket still sitting on the inside of
Yeah,
the rock?
it is. Uh-huh. I have some gross stories about crickets.
Awesome.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty cool.
I'll do a couple more.
Couple more.
Okay, so,
Final 3.
you know, it is our election year for President of the United States. And we all know that the president gets to live and work in the White House. Okay, so of these 3 glorious individuals that are sitting here, whom you all got to pick who was the clown, who was going to fart in public and all that, who was most likely to live and work in the White House?
It's not gonna be me. Apparently, I'm running to the circus.
Ready? 1,
Well, I don't know.
2, 3.
Yes, Kevin! Yes! Oh, I see what you're saying. Thanks, Kevin.
I got you.
Thanks,
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Okay, so we mentioned circus in the White House. Who is most likely to live alone on an island?
1, 2, 3.
Kevin.
Sorry, is it a tropical island?
That just says island.
Yeah, it's an island. No, that island
Drop
sucks.
only.
That island has nothing to eat, nothing to drink.
Survivor. You're gonna be on Survivor, buddy.
There's my reality.
Yes!
There it is.
Who is most likely to have, more than 10 children?
1,
2, 3.
oh boy. You love kids. I mean, we all love
I
kids,
know,
but
I
you
know
already,
it's coming.
you already have 3, you know?
So it's 7 more.
Well, why not? 7 more.
7.
I'm
Single
sure
digits.
Oh, no. Okay, so we jump from kids to who is most likely to live the longest?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And then who's most likely to author a book?
I mean, 1, 2, 3. I'll go with me.
Oh, nice. You pick Kevin, Kevin picked me, I picked me, and
No,
you.
I picked you.
You picked yourself.
No, I'm saying 2 for you, 2 for me. Thanks, Kevin. Again.
Oh,
How about that?
you picked me.
I picked myself and him.
Oh, so you just didn't pick me. Just like, no.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so who's most likely to become a race car driver?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next turn, Marna.
It won't be that good, but
I just
you
think
just
I
would drive it.
I just think I have the best ability to get out the window when it crashes.
What are you saying? We
Slow.
can't? I don't know about slow. I might be a little.
Oh. Who's most likely to become a private investigator?
Private investigator.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. For sure.
You hire other people.
True. No, he.
No, I
He
think
gets
yeah.
down to the nitty gritty. When need be, he finds things out.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Who's more likely to lock themselves out of the house?
Oh, I already know where this is going. I already know where this is going.
1, 2, 3. Coach Johnson loses his keys.
I lose my keys
every day.
every day. I lock my keys in my office every day.
Or the best is he actually leaves them in the door.
And can't find them for a
But
very
if I
long
leave
time.
them in the door, that's just so I don't lose them.
Oh, is that what that is? I'm gonna leave these right here. All right, come back for it. Oh boy. All right, pick one more good one.
Okay.
Stuart.
Alrighty.
Let's see.
Okay, I like this because I like zombies. Who is most likely to be the first one to die in a zombie attack?
1, 2, 3.
Wow!
One,
Really? Why? Why, Kev?
I don't think you swing.
You don't think I'd swing?
I don't think you would swing at it. I think it would just come out of nowhere and just scare the
I gotta
the-
say goodbye. I gotta help with homeschool.
Oh man, Coach Johnson is a father, as we all know,
All
the
right.
10 kids. We're gonna, but we're gonna wrap up anyways, guys. Everyone, we gave a big thanks to Mrs. Stewart. Ms. Stewart is phenomenal. She literally volunteered to come out. We did ask, but we already knew she was gonna be more than willing, and she was absolutely great. So thank you, Ms. Stewart. Awesome, awesome.
I think we're good. Next character training video will be out Monday. We got some TikToks planned in the upcoming days, so be on the lookout for those.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, guys. We have a lot of cool stuff coming out.
I mean, supposedly Coach Johnson's gonna do a dance one.
We need to get Dion Jerome
And then you
in.
need to watch that.
Come on, Dion.
Dion, where you at, Dion? We gotta get you out here, man.
Loves to dance.
All right. All right, well, thanks, guys.
All right. See you
We'll
guys.
see you next time. As I walk over. See you guys later.
Oh, wow. That's